What's up, YouTube? It's Off Center Leonard from Cardcast. I just got done wrapping up a whatnot show, and I've been delaying on trying to put out, or I've been delaying putting out a video, but I'm going to do a two for one here. So I want to do a video response to Brent Richard's Nolan Ryan find and process of this awesome image that he unearthed. And I also want to, I told my friend Billy from Phil Necro Fan 35 that I would do a VR response to some of my favorite Braves cards. So we're going to take a look at, both situations here. And basically, I had been wanting. I'll start off with the kickoff with Brent's card because I typically collect A's and Reds, and then I just kind of PC some guys that I like here and there. Like you have the miscellaneous box, but the A's and Reds stuff is, minus some pre-war stuff that I'm going to be chasing down, is really kind of coming to a close. I kind of have everything I want on those. So I've been thinking about starting another box, like another 2-row box or 3-row box with a new team. And I had been leaning towards the Mets because I feel like I've been picking up more and more stuff. So I already have a great start. And I think with Brent's card, with the Nolan Ryan card, that just kind of says, okay, that's what we're going to work on this year. We're going to close out some projects for the A's and Reds. We're going to start, chipping away at some Met stuff that I want. And then we'll see, as years go by, I'll work on other teams, So anyways, I'm just going to get the camera spun around and we'll talk about what Brent sent me, and then also how I'm going to kind of backfill with some other cool Met stuff. So hang with me for a sec. Okay, in the background here, we have a vintage, it's a Babe Ruth for Babe Ruth baseball. It's a sign from the 50s. And so that's been my backdrop for, just a pretty neutral backdrop for when I run my Whatnot shows. Not trying to keep plugging myself on Whatnot, but, obviously, if you ever want to check out my shows that I live stream multicast through YouTube, so you can always just watch me live on YouTube, if you want to check it out. So anyways, my boy Brent, great dude, great channel. I just want to start off by saying I thoroughly enjoy his channel. I like the fact that he does some deep dive, investigatory work. And he did a video a while back on the Pee Wee Reese, the famous 53 Bowman iconic card. And that, I think, might have been like one of the first videos I seen. Has like, man, this guy's great. Like he really does a deep dive, and so go sub his channel. Go check out his video that's got the this Nolan Ryan unearthing of a vintage image and the process that he went through to create this card, basically. And it's not really about the card. I mean, the card is like kind of like an afterthought. It's really about salvaging and just getting the highest quality image from this vintage negative that he found. Awesome job, dude. So like I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you did that. I'm proud of you. It's such a great thing for collectors. And anyways, so he sent me his $84 card of himself. When I say go sub, you could just scan the code right there. That'll take you right to him. Anyways, so this is the card that he sent in the holder, the magnetic with his flip, and this image. It was a bigger image, shows Nolan Ryan with his hands on his hips, and the fact that he created this awesome 68 Topps version of Nolan Ryan is just so cool. And it's definitely gonna be one of the highlights of my Mets collection. I got number 5 of 34. He did a very limited edition. In the video, he offered a special. I said, dude, count me in. I want one. And one of the reasons why I like this card in that style is because I'm a huge fan of the 68 Topps Cup Tom Seaver. This was a card I thoroughly desired when I was a kid. And I almost remember that him and the 69 Johnny Bench, they booked at like $250 a piece because those guys were just getting into retirement. And this was like maybe late 80s. And then they were going to the Hall of Fame. And it just, they were going up in value. And that was the theme. Like once they retire and they go to the Hall of Fame, their cards would just go up. So very cool to put these two together. And these two, you know, they have a history, right? I mean, they're two of the top. They both started off in the same team, and they were two of the top pitchers in the 70s. You know, then Nolan just kept going, you know, as Seaver, you know, was slowing down a little bit. So I just think that is just so cool, you know, to have those two side by side. And I'll have that displayed like that. Now, we're going to take the Seaver back. Now, I did my own little investigating. Now, some of you guys might know that I buy and sell a lot of cards throughout the years. And some things I hold on to because, you know, I hold on to them because they stick out, and or they may not have like enough value to sell or whatever. So I happen to just like, when I saw this, something stuck out in my mind. I was like, I feel like I've seen an image close to that before. And so this is a custom card. This is a Broder. So when Nolan Ryan was doing his thing in the 90s, they would just, you know, anybody that had access to printing on paper would just throw images and do stuff like this. And they would sell them. Sometimes they would use them for giveaways, but this is what we call like a Broder. But look at the image on the front. So we got the darkened blue sky. We have the Mets patch. We got the blue undershirt. Now he has his glove in this picture, and we can't see exactly what's behind it, but it's looking like a green field. I'm not saying that this could be from the same day, but, you know, I mean, maybe we got to get the Met detective Mookie Chilson to subscribe to his channel. Maybe, you know, take an image of that, Mook. Now, the funny thing is again, I bought a huge Nolan Ryan collection last year, and it just had a bunch of oddball stuff in it. But check this out. Another version of this card with a lighter sky. And so this was in Sports Cards magazine, I believe. And this is from 92. So this, I think, was, you know, somewhat, they probably paid some kind of licensing for this. So Ryan's World Series save, celebrating that. We got Brent in the background there, of course. But I just think that's a pretty cool, you know, set of cards there. So that's definitely going to kick off my box for sure. And then, as I said before about Nolan Ryan and, you know, Tom Seaver, you know, kind of historically together. Here's a 67 Rookie Stars where they took the 68 image of Seaver. And this just happens to be a business card, a promotional card from 1990 that I think they were charging $30 a card back then for that. And here is I think it's an unlicensed reprint. Pretty sure it's an unlicensed yes, it just says reprint on the back. So here's my cheap version of a Nolan Ryan Tom Seaver rookie. And the funny thing is Topps Archives had made one of these. So you could get the solo shot of just Nolan Ryan. So let's kind of pan back and forth there. Or I could just put these off to the side. So also, I happen to have, and I have this before, and I think Sammy Thunder pointed this out, but I had the back of this record album cut out. And I mean, it's definitely old paper. And when I first saw this, I had no idea where this came from. But, you know, you got J.C. Martin, Nolan Ryan, and Tom Seaver. And I just set it aside. I was like, I'm not going to sell it. It's kind of cool, you know. And as a homage to Brent's channel, the fact that he likes shiny stuff, let's throw out my Mets Archives Nolan Ryan fan favorite. Sorry, not Archives. These are serial numbered out of $2.99. Check out the shine on that, as that pops. And then I've got a Seaver from All Time Fan Favorites, and a 77 tops. Same year, I think, because it's numbered out of $2.99. Then if we want to keep the shine going, here is a 69 Nolan refractor. And this was like, I think, a 99 refractor of a 69 tops card the year they won it. Look at that. About to blow up the camera with that. Pretty cool. Just sparkling in all its Mets glory. Let's see. Last year at some point, I did a huge deal with a guy. These are probably my best, like, as far as cards that have value. I still got to pick up like a really sweet Mets Nolan Ryan, but I ended up getting both of these in a deal. And these are the SP Ultimate Signature Tom Seaver autographs. Nice on. I have a Griffey like this on the Reds from the same year, and these are numbered out of 60. So here's a nice Seaver here. And then here's from the same year, just a different shot, and him getting ready in the pitching pose. Wind up, number 13 out of 75. So these are both from the same. I just thought those were stunning. I was like, I have to have those, and then I'm just not gonna put them away. And again, you could start seeing that I was putting stuff away. You know, that I was gonna start collecting Mets stuff, and you know, it was just starting to happen. So here is, let's see, this is a vintage Dwight Gooden 84. Well, it's 84 tops traded, but with a vintage thin black Sharpie signature. This is like 84, 85 signed, which is pretty cool because he signed so much. It's actually kind of nice to have a distinction of an early year. That's the JSA sticker. Here's the COA. Picked that up at a show from a buddy of mine. I think I paid $50 for it. I was like, I'll take that. You know, traded Gooden. And then Strawberries rookies, the 83 traded is just a little too dark as far as the dugout in the background. Very tough card to sign. You have to almost get it in like a paint pen or something. Very thin Sharpie. Archives, numbered out of 28, I think. This is from 2021. I always loved this card and this image of Straw. The fact that he was a 1980 pick. I'll put that behind there. And then I had to get a PSA one that had 83 Rookie of the Year. Again, thin Sharpie. This isn't an Archives. This is definitely an in-person, but I like this card so much. Decided to get it twice. I can't remember which one I got first. It might have been that one. And then I saw the one with the inscription for 83 Rookie of the Year. I said, I got to have it. So next up, we have, I think we'll do my Gooden. So Gooden was at a show not too long ago, and I have this 85 Mets postcard where he inscribed it 85 Triple Crown. I probably should just have him sign it there because it gets a little lost in his letters. But the orange paint pen definitely pops on that. And from the same signing, we had one of these done. This is the Topps Project. And again, probably should have had Triple Crown signed somewhere over here. Just had it single signed. The inscription got a little lost there too. But this, this is like the king. 1985 Nike. And I had him inscribe it, "Just Do It," because Nike's logo. And that is Beckett encapsulated. And there he is, just ready to launch it in. And I just think that is so cool. I mean, that image is just awesome. What else do I have on the Mets that I want to share? And I have stuff like this too. I have like some in-person signatures. I've got like, here's a Greg Jeffries. I mean, I just remember his 88 stuff when he hit the scene. He did a signing. His 88 Donruss and his 88 Flair card was, they booked like $8, you know. And here's the 85 Flair Gooden rookie. Here's a pack pulled Jose Reyes, you know. So I'll go down the lengths of getting the guys I liked. I'll get a Piazza, you know, autograph or something. I'll get a David Wright. I'll fill everything out. Heath Hernandez I still got to get. So again, it's not Mets. I was not focusing on the Mets. I just started, as you can see, I started accumulating. I was like, well, it kind of makes sense to maybe make a real effort, have a, you know, Al Leiter SP on card. You know, sometimes I pick up collections and I just set stuff aside that I like, and it's kind of a nice, you know, nice benefit of doing that. What else? There's also like, I have 64, here's cool. Here's a vintage 64 Topps tattoos. These are real tough to get. Mets logo. So that's pretty much it for the Mets stuff that I have. Now, I don't have much for the Braves, so just hang out for a second. I just have 3 cards, really. So So Billy's channel, Billy, shout out to you, man. Way to grind. I see you're putting out videos. Very frequently, the shorts, everything. I respect the hustle, and I really appreciate when you come and hang out and whatnot. You know, you're one of my favorite people to sell to. I love the fact that you're theming out the Braves. Like, it's just so cool, and I'm really happy that I'm able to contribute and get you stuff for your collection. It's pretty cool. So anyways, without further ado, these are probably my 3 favorite Braves cards, and maybe at some point I will start to put together a Braves box, you know, down the line, but it might be a year or 2 away from that. So for starters, we're going to go with a 2001 pack pulled autograph of Dale Murphy. I just love this design. The very clean, bright white border. The year previous, the 2000, was nice, but I definitely enjoy the cleanliness of this card, and just how his powder blue jersey just pops. And, you know, the cool thing about the Braves is, and I forgot to touch on this about the Mets, but, you know, I probably saw, as far as going to baseball games, I've been in Shea Stadium probably 50 times in the 80s and 90s, probably averaging like 8 games a year for a while. And but the Braves, you know, they get to play on TBS, so I was always watching them. Always enjoyed watching the National League in the mid to late 80s to, you know, mid 90s. So that I got a little thing for the Braves. So this card I've always loved. I love the image of Aaron here. We got a lower grade, you know, lower to mid grade, nice presentation card. You know, it's not all banged up. Great shot of Aaron. I love the Sporting News All-Stars. You know, the image is definitely really cool. And my last Braves card, it happens to be Dale Murphy again, but this is the 89 Upper Deck. It is his error variation, the reverse negative. You can see the logos backwards there. And so when I was at a show, I had him sign it Dale Murphy, and I had him inscribe it reverse negative, which I think is really cool. Sent it off to Beckett. Centering on this is like really nice. And yeah, they gave the autograph a 10. This card was a hot card when it came out, you know, in packs, and Dale was coming right to the end of his career. I think they should put him in the Hall. But, you know, unfortunately, that's not up to me. That's just my opinion. Anyways, those are my 3 Braves cards. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to get this video put together and loaded, and we'll see you next time. I'm trying to think what I got coming down the line, what to stay in tune for. I think I'm probably going to start showing off some of my completed projects with the A's and the Reds. Also, my earliest Reds card that I just picked up at a show goes back to the 1800s. Awesome, awesome find. We'll see you next time.